The Caribbean. Think about those beautiful islands with their crystal clear waters, white sand beaches, and lush green forests. It's paradise, right? But for the people who call these islands home, there's a pressing issue: food security. Most Caribbean islands import a large amount of their food. This makes them vulnerable to global food price fluctuations and supply chain disruptions. Imagine depending on a boat that comes once a week for your fresh fruit and vegetables. Now imagine that boat gets delayed or the price of food skyrockets. Ensuring food security in the Caribbean is not just about putting food on the table. It's about empowering local communities and building a more resilient future. The Caribbean islands are particularly susceptible to the impacts of climate change. More frequent and intense hurricanes, rising sea levels, and changes in rainfall patterns are already affecting agriculture. Think about a farmer in the Caribbean who relies on predictable rainfall to grow his crops. Now imagine those rains become erratic, or worse, disappear for extended periods. The intrusion of salt water into coastal areas is another major threat. As sea levels rise, salt water contaminates freshwater sources, making it difficult to irrigate crops. Farmers are experiencing lower crop yields, and traditional farming practices are becoming less effective. More and more people in the Caribbean are moving from rural areas to cities in search of better opportunities. This rapid urbanization is changing the way we produce and consume food. As cities grow, agricultural land is being used for housing and infrastructure, further straining food production. Imagine a field that once produced fresh vegetables for a local market. Now picture that same field being transformed into rows of houses and paved roads. This shift towards urban living also means that people are becoming increasingly disconnected from the source of their food. The challenge is to find ways to feed growing urban populations while preserving valuable agricultural land and supporting local farmers. The Caribbean sun, usually a source of warmth and life, is becoming increasingly unpredictable. Farmers who once relied on traditional knowledge to plant and harvest their crops are now facing a new challenge: extreme heat. This intense heat isn't just uncomfortable, it's directly impacting crop yields. Many traditional crops in the Caribbean, like beans, corn, and certain fruits, are sensitive to extreme temperatures. The heat stresses the plants, making them more susceptible to diseases and pests, and reducing their overall productivity. The problem is worsened by changing rainfall patterns. As crop yields decline, the entire Caribbean region becomes more dependent on imported food, making it vulnerable to price fluctuations and supply chain disruptions. Rising tides, shrinking harvests, the saltwater challenge. As sea levels rise due to climate change, saltwater is increasingly intruding into coastal areas, contaminating freshwater sources and damaging fertile farmland. Imagine a farmer discovering that the well he's used for generations to irrigate his crops is now filled with salty water, unusable for his precious plants. As the seawater seeps into the ground, it poisons the soil, making it difficult or impossible to grow crops. For island nations with limited land area, the loss of even a small amount of farmland to saltwater intrusion is significant. It reduces the amount of food that can be produced locally, increasing dependence on imports. Farmers are witnessing firsthand the loss of their livelihoods as their land becomes increasingly unusable due to saltwater contamination. When the rains won't come, drought and its devastating effects. In the Caribbean, where lush rainforests meet the sea, water is life. But climate change is leading to more frequent and intense droughts that are having a devastating impact on agriculture and food security. Without sufficient rainfall, crops wither and die, leaving farmers with empty fields and shattered hopes. The lack of water also affects livestock, making it difficult to provide them with the hydration and fodder they need to survive. As food production declines, prices in local markets skyrocket, making it increasingly difficult for families to put food on the table. Small-scale farmers, who often lack the resources to invest in drought-resistant crops or irrigation systems, are disproportionately affected. From fields to high-rises, the shrinking farmland. People from rural areas are flocking to cities, hoping for jobs, education, and new opportunities. This movement puts immense pressure on land resources, especially for agriculture. Imagine fertile fields, once bursting with crops, slowly being replaced by concrete structures, shopping malls, and sprawling suburbs. As cities grow, agricultural land, often on the outskirts, becomes prime real estate. This shrinking farmland directly impacts the amount of food that can be produced locally, increasing the reliance on imports. The loss of farmland is not just about quantity, it's also about the variety and nutritional value of the food available. The supermarket paradox, abundance, and disconnect. Stepping into a supermarket in the Caribbean can be a dazzling experience. Shelves are stacked high with a colorful array of fruits, vegetables, packaged goods, and imported delicacies. It seems like a land of abundance, but beneath the surface lies a paradox. The easy availability of imported food, while offering convenience and variety, masks a growing disconnect between urban populations and their local food sources. Consumers, accustomed to the year-round availability of produce from around the world, often remain unaware of the challenges faced by local farmers and the environmental impact of their food choices. Breaking this cycle of disconnect requires educating consumers about the importance of supporting local agriculture and promoting the benefits of locally grown food. Feeding the concrete jungle urban farming initiatives. Amidst the concrete jungle of Caribbean cities, a quiet revolution is taking root. From rooftop gardens to community-led initiatives, urban farming is emerging as a viable solution to address food security concerns and reconnect urban dwellers with the source of their food. Imagine transforming unused rooftops, balconies, and even small patches of land into productive gardens, bursting with fresh herbs, vegetables, and fruits. By growing food within the city limits, transportation costs are reduced, carbon footprints are minimized, and communities have access to fresh, locally grown produce. These initiatives often go beyond simply growing food. They become community hubs, fostering social interaction and promoting healthy eating habits. While urban farming alone cannot solve all the challenges facing the Caribbean's food system, it offers a tangible and scalable solution that can contribute to greater food security and community resilience. Tech-powered farms sowing the seeds of innovation. Across the islands, farmers are turning to technology to combat the challenges of climate change and boost productivity. Imagine walking into a greenhouse not filled with the familiar sights and smells of traditional farming, but with sensors monitoring every aspect of the environment. This is precision agriculture in action, and it's transforming the way food is produced in the Caribbean. By leveraging sensors, data analytics, and automated systems, farmers can optimize growing conditions, reduce waste, and increase yields. Drones equipped with cameras and sensors survey fields, providing valuable insights into plant health, irrigation needs, and potential pest infestations. This embrace of technology is not just about increasing efficiency, it's about empowering a new generation of farmers. From farm to fork, technology is streamlining the food chain. The journey of food from the farm to our plates is a complex one, often fraught with inefficiencies and challenges. But in the Caribbean, technology is stepping in to streamline the food supply chain, reducing waste, improving traceability, and ensuring that fresh, nutritious food reaches consumers more efficiently. Imagine being able to trace the origin of your pineapple from the farm where it was grown to the truck that transported it, all with a simple scan on your smartphone. This is the promise of blockchain technology, and it's being explored in the Caribbean to enhance transparency and accountability in the food system. Mobile apps and online platforms are also connecting farmers directly with consumers, bypassing traditional intermediaries and reducing post-harvest losses. The integration of technology in the food supply chain is not just about improving efficiency, it's about building a more resilient and sustainable food system. The gene revolution, biotechnology, and the future of food. The Caribbean is turning to biotechnology to feed a growing population in a changing climate. From drought-resistant crops to disease-resistant livestock, biotechnology offers promising solutions. Imagine crops thriving in salty soils and resisting diseases, ensuring a stable food supply. This potential is already being explored in the Caribbean. Scientists are developing resilient varieties of staple crops like rice, beans, and cassava. These climate-smart crops offer hope for farmers struggling with climate change. Biotechnology is also improving the nutritional content of food. Scientists are biofortifying staple crops with essential vitamins and minerals. Gene editing offers precise tools for enhancing crop traits. The use of biotechnology in agriculture is not without its controversies. Concerns about genetic diversity and environmental impacts are important. With careful regulation and public engagement, biotechnology can contribute to a sustainable future. Jamaica's agro-tech push a model for the Caribbean. Known for reggae and Blue Mountain coffee, Jamaica is also leading in agricultural innovation. Facing climate change and food import reliance, Jamaica embraces technology to boost food security. Young entrepreneurs and farmers connect with new markets and technologies. Startups and research institutions drive Jamaica's agro-tech sector. Precision irrigation and mobile apps modernize agriculture. Drones monitor crops, providing valuable data. This data helps optimize irrigation, fertilization, and pest control. The government supports innovation through initiatives like JAMPRO. The goal is a resilient, sustainable, and competitive agricultural sector. Guyana, from food importer to regional breadbasket. Guyana is transforming from a net food importer to a regional breadbasket. With fertile land and abundant fresh water, it aims to feed the Caribbean. Vast rice fields symbolize Guyana's agricultural potential. Investments in infrastructure, technology, and human capital are key. The government is driving economic growth and food security. Expanding rice production is a major focus. Guyana aims to export high-quality rice regionally and internationally. Investments in research, improved varieties, and farmer support are crucial. Diversifying crops like fruits, vegetables, and livestock. Reducing imports and creating a sustainable agricultural sector. The Bahamas, known for its turquoise waters and pristine beaches, faces unique food security challenges. Limited land and hurricane vulnerability drive innovative farming solutions. Enter high-tech greenhouses, glowing with LED lights where plants grow vertically, stacked towards the ceiling. This is a pioneering vertical farm, showcasing technology's role in overcoming agricultural limits. Vertical farming uses stacked layers, saving space and resources. The government promotes vertical farming through initiatives like the Bahamas Agricultural and Marine Science Institute, training aspiring farmers and promoting local produce. We've journeyed through the Caribbean's food landscape, witnessing both the challenges and the inspiring solutions emerging across these beautiful islands. From the unpredictable wrath of climate change to the pressures of urbanization, the region faces a complex recipe for its future food security. Imagine a plate filled with the colors and flavors of the Caribbean, fresh fish caught sustainably, vibrant fruits and vegetables grown on local farms, and traditional dishes made with locally sourced ingredients. This is the vision of a food-secure Caribbean, a region where everyone has access to safe, nutritious, and culturally appropriate food, produced in a way that protects the environment and supports local economies. Achieving this vision requires a multifaceted approach, one that blends traditional knowledge with cutting-edge technology, empowers local communities, and fosters collaboration across sectors. The challenges are real, but so is the Caribbean's resilience. For generations, Caribbean people have adapted to changing circumstances, finding innovative ways to thrive in the face of adversity. This same spirit of innovation is evident today as farmers, entrepreneurs, scientists, and policymakers come together to forge a more sustainable and food-secure future. Building a food-secure Caribbean requires a long-term vision, one that prioritizes sustainable practices that protect the environment, empower local communities, and ensure the well-being of future generations. It's about recognizing that the choices we make today will shape the food landscape of tomorrow. Imagine a future where children grow up understanding the importance of where their food comes from, appreciating the value of local agriculture, and embracing sustainable practices in their daily lives. Investing in sustainable agriculture means supporting small-scale farmers, promoting agroecological practices that work in harmony with nature, and reducing reliance on chemical inputs. It means embracing innovative technologies that conserve water, reduce waste, and enhance productivity without harming the environment. Beyond the farm, Sustainable food systems require efficient supply chains that minimize losses, reduce transportation distances, and connect consumers with locally sourced products. It means promoting responsible consumption habits, reducing food waste, and supporting businesses that prioritize sustainability. The journey towards a food-secure Caribbean is not one that any island, government, or sector can undertake alone. It requires a shared vision, a collaborative spirit, and a commitment to working together to overcome the challenges and seize the opportunities that lie ahead. Imagine a regional network of innovators, sharing knowledge, resources, and best practices, working together to build a more resilient and food-secure Caribbean. Governments have a crucial role to play in creating enabling environments, investing in research and development, promoting sustainable practices, and ensuring that everyone has access to safe, nutritious food. The private sector, from small-scale entrepreneurs to large corporations, can drive innovation, create jobs, and invest in sustainable solutions. But perhaps the most important ingredient in this recipe for resilience is the active participation of citizens. By supporting local farmers, reducing food waste, making informed choices about the food we consume, and advocating for sustainable policies, we can all contribute to a more food-secure future for the Caribbean.